Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Prospect Times. This is episode number 7. Jeff joins me once again. Jeff, tell
Hello.
everybody where they can find you on Twitter.
Aggie Meltman 17. I'm up. Thank you, everybody. I'm up now past 200. Thank y'all very much for
All
putting
right.
that
Well,
there.
hopefully we'll get you over 300 here shortly.
Hey, I'll take it. I'll
And Jeff
refollow
and
too.
Jeff will follow you back too. And you can also find us at Prospect Times without the in it, just at Prospect Times. And every once in a while, we do go on a sporadic follow back. So you might get a follow back from us too. Happy New Year to everybody. This is our first episode since the new year. So hope you're having a fantastic new year. I know you're happy to see our faces again. So now there's been quite a few things that have happened since our last episode. So the Rangers introduced Nathan Eovaldi. They finalized their coaching staff. Also, Blaine Crim is playing in the Puerto Rican Winter League in the playoffs. And then also the Rough Riders have a new pitching coach. He officially announced it on Twitter recently. And then also, I think Chris was the play-by-play announcer that was with Zach last season, but now there is a new play-by-play announcer. I think his name is Josh as well. So that's what we will talk about in this episode. So first things first, of course, the Rangers basically signed a whole new pitching staff. Newest member being Nathan Eovaldi. I think Fangraphs. I did want to touch on this. Fangraphs has the Rangers projected to have the second best starting rotation in baseball. Can you believe that?
I'm impressed.
It is pretty impressive. Now, I mean, they are just projections, I will say. So I don't know how much weight I put on that, because in my mind, I still don't think we have a better rotation overall than the Astros, in my opinion. And the Astros, looking at this same list, are ranked as, I think, number 13.
That's what you told me.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so and now this is going off of the off of WAR, the F WAR, Fangraphs, or for each of these, with the Yankees being the number one team, which kind of
Rich
doesn't
gets,
surprise
gets
me,
richer.
with what Garrett Cole and Carlos Rodon, topping the rotation. That's a heck of a 1-2 punch there, and then of course the Rangers in second, with DeGrom really helping that out, and of course Evaldi helps it out too, as well. So yeah, they have the second. So do you think it's second best, Jeff, in baseball?
My heart says yes, but my checkbook and my that I just don't see it yet. I
So
mean,
so if you're a betting man, are you a betting man, Jeff? Here and there, maybe? No? Okay. Well, I'm not either, but if I was a betting man, I probably would not bet the Rangers having the second best rotation. Now, clearly, this is all gonna depend on health, which I guess really any team can say, especially with your starting pitching, health health is important. If these guys don't make
especially for this
starts,
team,
then you know
especially this team.
then yeah, that these numbers, and how accurate these numbers are, I don't really know their projections, but we're obviously going to keep track of it, so we'll know. But yeah, so the Rangers go out and did what they said they were going to do and signed a bunch of
Well,
pitchers.
Nathan's a good name. I mean, even though he does have a third round draft pick brought to him because he refused the qualifying officer, so we're going to give up the second and third again, like we did last year.
Yeah.
But I can see, well, we still got rockers. So, Chris Young has something up his sleeve like he always does. So, and he's not done. So, but what worries me is what I read is he's not worried about more. So I know our relief pitcher that Bill brought up all me that was phenomenal. So
I agree. He was fantastic last year, seasons before that, not so much. But I think the worry definitely is it seemed as though they were just priced out of his market, which I don't know. I mean, he's still not signed, so I mean, maybe they do bring him back, but it seemed like there's other teams bidding on him, So, and I think
sorry about the
now,
dog if you hear him in the background. Sorry about that.
yeah, that's all right. You're probably going to hear my
I
cats in the
apologize.
background here soon, anyway. So that's all right. No problem. It just makes it more real. So, um, now the other thing too that I wanted to talk about is Blaine Crim. And I know that there were other players. Excuse my camera shaking there, but I know there were other players that played in the Puerto Rican Winter League. But Blaine originally decided that he wasn't going to go this year. But then I guess when the team, that he played for last season made the playoffs, then I guess they, sweet talked him into helping him out. So he is down there playing right now. To me, probably one of the most underrated prospects, if not the most underrated prospect in the Rangers system. So far, through 2 games, he is hitting, I believe, in 8 at-bats. He's got a 250 average with a double so far and a couple of strikeouts. So that's kind of where he's at right now. Jeff,
Well,
do you
we
have
have
some
there's
of the
a few
other numbers from?
there's a few more. Evidently somebody's in the back door, or somebody in the backyard, or something. Probably
Okay.
some utility person. So sorry about that, people. I apologize. Chris Signs, he's in Puerto Rico. He's played 16 games, hitting a whopping 158.
Oh yeah, Chris
So
Cease, the
yeah,
shortstop. Yeah.
he's 24 years old. You got 25-year-old outfielder Kelly Strom, who made a big name out of himself at Frisco. So he's hitting a whopping 180 right now. So
I know in
um,
the regular season he had, I think, the highest on base streak for the Rough Riders this season. I'll have to go back and look and touch on that maybe in a different podcast, but he had a quite the on base streak going earlier.
well, we got 20-year-old Ambolic Cortez, who was in Hickory. 29, or no, I'm sorry. He's only played 2 games, 5 at-bats, and he's got a 500 batting average. He got a double and a walk. And then you got 22-year-old Angel Aponte, who is a down east. He's hitting 238 and has a 638 OPS. And then here's 25-year-old right-handed pitcher. The person you're going to need to keep an eye on is Grant Anderson, which you know very well about being in Frisco and out there. And right now, 19 innings, 0.47 ERA, 24 Ks in 19 innings.
I'll take
So
that.
yeah, in a heartbeat.
Yeah, it
Then in
seems.
Australia, we got Jack Biggins, 286, which is his average. That's what he's about his average.
Oh,
His minor league.
Jack's Biggers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Then you got Josh Gessner. He was part of the Mike Miners or Kyle Gibson's trade. Sorry. He's right now 4 innings, 0-2, a 15.75 ERA. So our minor leaguers not doing so hot this year so far. But
Minus
Grant
Grant
Anderson,
Anderson.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the hitters. I don't know. I mean, part of me wants to just chalk that down to them playing a long season, and a lot of them in Frisco, or at least I say a lot of them, Kellen, and Grant, but yeah, I mean they do seem to be struggling at the plate, at least as far as the
Well,
hitters
Blaine,
go.
remember Blaine was the batting champion last year in Puerto Rico.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah, he did absolutely, and he I think was the first player since like 19 something, like the early 19 somethings, to break the first US born player,
wow,
but also hit a 400 batting average. So
yeah,
he
and he had
lit
quite
it
a few at
up.
bats too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he was on fire for sure. I mean, and even had a decent season too in Frisco this year.
Mhm.
I guess you could say, the power dissipated, in AAA, but he still didn't really play that many games. So I'll be curious to see what he does, at the plate, in Round Rock this year. So
Getting back to Nathan Eovaldi, he has a career record of 67 and 68 with a 4.16 ERA, 221 starts. And you won't believe this, but last year he has two complete games against Boston, with Boston, and that's his career. I mean, that's all he had in his whole career as far as two complete games. So maybe he's getting stronger about it when he's getting older with his arm. I mean, if he went 221 starts, and he only got two, and it just came last year. So that's impressive. I mean, maybe he could be
I will
ready.
say I did listen to, what he was saying in the press conference, when he was introduced, and he was sold by, Chris Young on pretty much everything. And, he seems to have that mentality too, where he's, willing to help the younger guys, give them pointers. And he seems to be excited too about the pitching lab, um, that the Rangers have. With the technology, you can kind of get more immediate feedback as far as your mechanics, things like that. If you're, tipping something on your pitches, you see all that, and you see it it really immediately. So, he's excited about that.
Well, that's where Rangers got their new pitching coach at Frisco, who's from a lab,
Yeah,
Chicago Cubs
yeah.
lab.
Yeah, that'll be
He was
interesting to
there.
see too. And I think that's definitely one of the things that we'll want to keep an eye on this season is how the pitchers fare with the new pitching coach. Um, because obviously like Leiter didn't have the season that, probably he wanted to have, or fans wanted him to have. Um, there were definitely, some command issues, but we also saw some times of brilliance from him too. Now the thing is you could see that in the same game. You could see uh
Nine
brilliance in
strikeouts,
one
nine
inning, and then
strikeouts, and
yeah,
four
and then in
walks.
the next inning,
Yeah,
he
he
issues
walked the
three
bases.
walks. So
Yeah.
it did kind of vary. So he's going to want to see more consistency, as far as command goes. And I think that bringing Josh, Zeid in, from the Cubs, he's got the experience with, the pitching lab. It'll be interesting to see how he, communicates these numbers, and, what the guys need to, fix in, their mechanics, things like that. So I'll be real interested to see how the overall pitching staff improves, under him. I'm kind of excited, to be honest with you. I think it's
Well,
it's a good move.
I think they're gonna reload. I think they're gonna reload coming down from Hickory. Pictures were impressive. So they're going to start trickling into Frisco, and then Frisco's going to into Round Rock. So they're going to be getting a lot of good arms coming in. Frisco, or in 87 days, opening day in Frisco,
87 days. And
87
it's going to be
days.
here before we know it too, it's it's going
I
to be
guarantee
exciting.
you'll be there. You'll be there.
And I think, So I always think back to like the three-headed monster that the Rough Riders had. I believe it was 2019, right? With Joe Palumbo, Jonathan Hernandez, and Brock Bird, right? They were the
Mhm.
three-headed monster. And of course, things didn't really work out, like we wanted them to. But if you look at 2019 to, of course, 2020 was just wiped out due to COVID, but the rotation the past few years has just been getting better and better each year. So like, even last year with Cody Bradford, I know some of these guys started off rough, but man, ended the season on really just as good as they could have, to be honest with
Right.
you. So you got Cody Bradford, you've got Zach Kent, who obviously was promoted to AAA at the end of the year.
Owen White.
Leiter, and then
Owen
you got
White. You got
Owen White,
Rocker.
Antoine Kelly. Um, and now,
Yeah,
yeah,
Rocker too.
I
Don't forget
think
him.
Rocker is probably going to start in AA too. So it's going to be another fantastic rotation. The lineup's going to be amazing. I mean, Frisco is just always the team, it seems, that just is the one to watch because, I mean, really, they're the most, major league ready, or will be,
I was about to say
in short
yeah, that's
time,
the better word,
you know.
right? But
So
where are they gonna get the at bats for these young talented kids that coming up? Where are they gonna find time to put? Because you're only gonna put 8 out there, and they're gonna. I mean, you're gonna have a lot of good hitters on the bench. Where are you gonna have time to bring these kids and say, okay, we're gonna start everybody, but just where you going? Where you don't have time to put great players or talented players, sorry, on the bench and waste their bat at bats. So when the
I
Rangers are
mean,
gonna have to do a move somewhere.
well, yeah, I mean, because you're going to have your guys that start, in AAA, like Blaine
Yes.
Crim, he'll be in AAA. Um, Foscue should probably start in AAA as well. So,
That that's the
and
workhorse.
also Ornelas too,
Yeah,
Jonathan. So, I mean, Round Rock's going to have a whole new look,
and Luis, and don't forget
next,
Luis, who's gonna be up and that's
yeah,
gonna be in Round Rock.
yeah. So, I mean, they'll find at bats. I don't, I, I mean, I guess where it could come into, yeah, no, they'll find at bats. I feel like I'm losing my mind because I don't know what I was going to
No,
say next.
you're fine. You're fine. But
Oh,
what you
I
should,
I did want to say too, with the play-by-play announcer for Frisco, his name is Josh as well, and I should have the last name, but I don't. So bear with me here, and I'm going to try to. Josh Worden is the new play-by-play guy, so he's going to be the one joining Zach in the booth. So for
that's
all
gonna be
those listening, you'll hear a new voice. It won't be Chris besides Zach. It'll be Josh Worden, who apparently
so. What do you
also
think?
is from Oregon.
I was about to say, what do you think about getting people from the north coming down and it's gonna, it's gonna be interesting. But look, what are you going to say about Reynolds, the outfielder from Pittsburgh, that everybody dying wants going to Rangers to unload the farm system for him with 3 years of control. He's got 3 years of control of arbitration control, and he turned down what you said, what 75 million.
Yeah, it was a 75 million contract. I mean, really, that's not in today's
No,
dollars. It's nothing. I mean, to the
that's a gift, and
Pirates,
that's all.
it's a lot, but
Yeah.
but it's nothing. So I don't. I mean, if that's what they offered, I don't necessarily blame him for wanting out, requesting a trade. I
But
I
would you
mean,
trade?
who would I trade? I would probably, obviously it's going to take multiple, but I'll say as far as untouchable or as close to untouchable as you can
Right.
get, would be Evan
Right.
Carter, Owen White, and then Brock Porter. Anybody else, to me, I think, we could stand to lose. Um, like honestly, I would probably include Leiter in a trade at this point. Not to say that I don't like him or that I've given up on him, but and I still think he has upside, even considering his performance in Frisco last year. And I
Well,
think teams still value him
what
too.
about major league? What about major league players?
Oh, that's
You
tough.
got. Do you include Josh Smith? Do you include Glenn Otto? Do you Spencer Howard?
I I mean, not all of them, but like, hey,
Durant?
you can choose one of these three players, then you can choose one of these three, and then one of these three. I would include Duran as well.
Yes, I would do that in a heartbeat. Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, it depends too, though, because although I like our prospects, and I do tend to want to keep them rather than trade five of them away for one player. Yeah, also, it is rare, especially for the Rangers, to get any sort of contribution, like major contribution from our prospects. So I feel like if you're going for it and you feel like you have a window, which is like right now, that's why we have Bruce Bochy, Mike Maddox, and
Brett
DeGrom.
Young.
I mean, I feel like maybe you do pull off some sort of trade to get a player of his caliber, But again, that's with the caveat of I don't want to trade away the entire farm. So our farm would take a hit, but I don't think it would be that big of a hit because we do have some depth.
Mhm. Well, would you wait till trade deadline and say, okay, well, let's look at his numbers and see if he's still carrying 20 plus home runs? Is his
Yeah,
value will be
that's
higher when the deadline gets there because his numbers are
Well, see, to me, that's like the impossible thing to know. I mean, that's kind of a gamble, right? I mean, just kind of like the Rangers took a gamble with all their pitchers that they signed. I mean, you're really gambling on health there. But to me, it's a gamble because it depends too on how your prospects do.
yes,
Because
yes,
if your prospects go and light it up, maybe you don't you know, maybe people change their mind and don't trade lighter. Maybe
maybe
you
Thompson is
include somebody else.
maybe Thompson's doing good in left field. Maybe Josh Smith might be no tearing it up, no doing good in left field. So is it worth going ahead and trading somebody who's average like Thompson, Josh Smith, Duran to get Reynolds to take? Will that ruin the I can't camaraderie of the dugout or the clubhouse?
Oh, I don't think it would at all as far as the camaraderie goes.
To me, it shows that hey,
But
we're going for it.
well, yeah, I mean, it would show the guys absolutely that that hey, we're trying everything we can to go for it, win now. Probably puts a lot of pressure on the players, but I mean, that's what Bruce Bochy's for them to keep a level head. He's not going to let them, think about the next game. He's going to keep them focused on this game now. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
one game at a
that
time.
part I don't. Yeah, I guess yes, I would pull off a trade, but again, you got to be careful because you really, especially like you mentioned earlier, with losing the two draft picks again this year. I mean, did the same thing last year. Although, we may have had one of the better drafts, even
Yeah, I think
losing
we.
those two draft picks.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, really the same could happen this year. And at least we have was it the fourth overall pick this year, this coming up?
Yeah,
So, I mean, we have that, so our farm system, although it's going to take a hit, is going to get, a fourth overall pick again, and then whoever we get in the fourth round plus. But I don't know so where are you on the Reynolds trade?
well, to be honest, I would not trade the kitchen sink. I would. I mean, I've seen people's proposals, and just I mean, I don't have very much hair, but I wouldn't pull my hair out with some of the people that they were saying, like Porter and Rocker, and then just all major or minor leaguers. Well, we got a few. Our shortstop and our second base is blocked for years, at least 6 years, and whatever. Whatever I can't remember Stevens. This is 10 or it's 10, right? I can't remember.
It was
10
10,
for
I think.
okay.
Yeah. So we
So
have for 9 more
so
seasons.
so that's nine. That's 9 and 5 years. I mean, five second base and shortstop. And we got a ton of Foskey, which a name that I was wondering. I wouldn't. I mean, he has a bad arm. That I mean, every year it seems like his arm is getting. I mean, his throwing arm. But second base, where's he going to do? He's going to sit there and play second base and behind Simeon. So he's a good trade base. But I would not unload Porter and Rocker and all. I no,
No,
I wouldn't.
I don't include Porter, and I likely don't include Rocker at this point. Like I said, I might uh include Lighter. I would just have to see the overall package, honestly. I mean, Acuna, I think is going to have to be included.
He's the
He's
real deal.
blocked.
He's the real deal.
Well, he
He will
is,
be.
yeah, but he's blocked here, and really
Yeah.
the only way that he plays is if there was some sort of catastrophic injury, because Ornelas, can play any position as
Mm-hmm.
well,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he's on the 40 man too, so it'll be interesting to see. I don't know. I like, are the Rangers going to pull off a trade before spring training, or are they going to sit pat and see what we've got and make a move at the trade deadline? The problem is, I feel like, but I guess you could say it the other way too. Like, some of the prospects might lose a little bit of value, to other teams, depending on how they perform,
Yeah.
but maybe, depending on how they went this year, some of them, aren't as high for other teams either. So,
Well, with Zavala, with the now he has the injury, so he's gonna miss all the way to June, and that's a big
yeah, I think May or
he May of middle of
mid
May,
May or
beginning of
something.
June.
But yeah, I mean, that's definitely going to hurt. I will say Zavala
That's a hit and
is,
son of a gun.
oh my gosh, like he is a presence at the plate. Like, he will draw walks. He's got the power, speed. I mean, he's got it all. And I will say, even with this injury, I wouldn't be surprised to see him in Arlington in September. Uh,
Well, to me, his talent, just like with some little bitty dude down here in Houston, no Altuve, you can, I mean, they compare to each other as far as, I mean, Altuve, of course, is one, I mean, MVP, all that, but
yeah.
but as far as talent wise, as far as hitting, uh, stealing bases, defensively, they're about the same. So he's gonna be a hitting son of a gun when he gets healthy and get back out there.
I mean, yeah, he is. I mean, because he already is, but
Yeah.
like you said, I mean, he's got to get healthy first. So, yeah, I mean, we'll probably likely see him, I would imagine, once he's healthy, after, I guess, rehabbing in Arizona, but we'll see him in Frisco again. And once he tears it up, he'll be moved on to Round Rock. And like I said,
Again, what position?
could be a
He
September call up,
could be the left fielder. He
outfield,
could be a left
outfield. Yeah.
fielder.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends. I am curious to see what Bubba can do. His speed on the base
It is
pass is
phenomenal.
lethal. I mean, he I would like to see what he could do, in the majors for a whole season. Plus, you're talking about the bases being a little bit bigger too. So there's, a little less space, but I know it's just a matter of inches, but I mean, if you think how close, like bang bang plays are as far as, stolen bases, that's just
And
going to
plus,
benefit
now they got rid of the
the
shift. Now you
runner,
can't shift no more.
Yeah.
You can't shift no more. So that's a big plus. That'll get him a bigger lead off first because the second baseman's not right there. He got a good little distance to get there.
Yeah.
So get rid of the shift, so that's a good thing. Seager can actually hit more balls than strikeouts or flyouts or whatever. He just had a bad year because of the shift. So that was
Yeah,
that was his
yeah, but he had the career high in home runs.
home runs. That's right.
He
Well, six
probably
left,
won't.
six at the bomb ball, so
He
I
won't
think
reproduce
good thing.
those power numbers. That would be hard to do, but it
Daniel
was
Lowe come through with the power numbers.
yeah,
So I mean, he
yeah,
stayed career high.
yeah.
But what's Josh Jones gonna do at third?
Well, I don't know. I mean, hopefully he wins rookie of the year though. Because don't I'll have to go check and we'll have to get back on maybe the next podcast. But I feel like if you have a rookie that wins rookie of the year that you get uh do you get an extra draft pick or something?
I think
I
so. Yeah,
feel
because
like
you
that
develop
is
that player.
yeah, I feel like that's the case. So I'm hoping that, that he hits like he did, I know he struggled, in the majors this year, but again, limited at bats, so um and I
Sorry
think
about the
he's
dog.
got the potential to hit 20 home runs,
And hit
maybe
300.
more, yeah. I mean, he's talented too. So um I'm not worried about Young at all at third. I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe that will change, but at this point, I'm not. I think bullpen wise, um, maybe the Rangers feel like they have some internal candidates already, like Chase Lee. Possibility he could break camp with the team,
With
and
Garrett
come out
Anderson.
of the
Yeah.
bullpen.
Not
Um,
Garrett, Grant Anderson. Sorry.
who?
Grant Anderson.
Oh yeah, possibly. Yeah. I mean, his numbers have been incredible, so
Yeah.
especially in the winter league there. So it's been pretty impressive. So I mean, there's definitely, and then if you figure too that Odorizzi is probably going to come out of the pen, unless they do try a 6-man rotation, which I'm not.
I was just about to ask you your opinion on that
Yeah, I
six-man
mean,
rotation.
I do see where people would like for them to try it at least initially, to start the season, to try to give guys extra rest. I'm not sure. I haven't really seen or researched enough to know if it does prevent injuries, not necessarily prevent them, but if it does, keep guys more, obviously it would keep them more rested, but I'm just not so sure that still like will prevent an injury, which is why people are really wanting that to happen. You know, I myself, as much as DeGrom is making, I want to see him make 32 starts a season.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Obviously that's best case scenario. I don't know if we'll get that, but I want
200
him
innings.
I want him making as many starts as he can, and going to a 6-man rotation. I think is it like 27 starts? Plus, really, you have to consider: do you have 6 quality starters? Is Odorizzi a quality starter?
I think he's a
Um,
spot starter. I think he's a
yeah,
spot starter.
yeah. I mean, he could give you some good starts here and there, but I don't. I mean, he's definitely not DeGrom. He's not Evaldi. He's not Perez. He's not
Not
Gray. He's
great.
not Heaney.
Well, you got Dunning. Don't forget Dunning.
You also have Dunning too.
They gonna take the I guess what take the bib off of him and send him out there because they've been babying him this whole past year. They've been babying, saying, okay,
Pitchers
five innings.
pitchers are babied by every team these days, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
but this time let him go. It's
Yeah,
time to put your big pants on and let's go out there and complete it. Get go more than 5 innings.
yeah,
So I think they need to do that with him. So to me, I just a 6-man rotation. I just don't think we have the bullpen that can when a pitcher has an off day. I don't think we had the bullpen to can continue to be thrown out there and thrown out there. Because we learned
Well,
last year we overused the bullpen. Like 2
yeah, we
years ago we
definitely,
overused the
especially at the start, yeah, for sure. And
so
yeah, you really want to be careful. And Bruce Bochy will definitely help with that,
he's
you know.
awesome.
So
But speaking of Bochy, I'm sorry about what do you think? Only changes he did was Will Venables as his assistant manager. In case Bochy gets thrown out, he can
oh yeah,
take
we
his
were
place.
supposed to talk about the coaching
And
staff.
and then you got our boy Maddox. That's it. That's only 2 changes he made. I'm surprised he didn't bring anybody that he that was under him at San Francisco. So I'm surprised he didn't make any other kind of moves because
Yeah, I think one of the other guys that was being considered for pitching coach just may not have wanted it or something. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I was kind of surprised at that too. You know, but I feel like it's you know, analytically related, you know, some of these moves. So we'll see. I mean, I think I will
I'm
say
glad they
bringing
kept Bobby
on Will
Wilson.
Venable was brilliant, you know, from what I've heard about him. So it's definitely not a slight on him. I do think that is brilliant to bring him in as associate manager.
Well,
And
Bobby
then of
Wilson
course
was a
Mike
good
Maddox.
hold. Because Bobby Wilson was the catcher when Mike Maddox was the pitching coach still under Bannister. So they
Yep.
kind of got a little history with each other. So that was a good move because
Yeah, it
Bobby Wilson
was.
stayed with his pitching staff, so
They
he knows what the.
yeah, yeah. They've got a great staff. I mean, I'm curious to see how it just all comes together, you know. But like I said, I'll be focusing mainly on the Frisco Rough Riders with the new pitching coach. That's kind of where I'm, you know, just because I feel like for us to have sustainable success, we've got to be able to have some homegrown pitchers pan out. You know, they
It's about
it's
all about development.
yeah, exactly. So
It's about
this is
developing our players.
a big move, and I think that tells us that the Rangers have a lot of faith in you know in Josh and what he's gonna bring to the Rough Riders. So that will be interesting. Uh, Jeff, we're kind of out of time here now,
No
so I know
problem.
it goes by quick. So tell people again where they can find you on Twitter.
You can find me Jeff Hewitt at Aggie Meltman 17. I do refollow, so y'all give me a try. You'll enjoy everything. I love. I don't like arguing with people when it comes to trades. Yes, I will get into a little discussion with you.
All
But
right. Well, we may send some trade questions out there. I don't know. We'll see. But I definitely appreciate everybody tuning in. Give us a like, comment,
thumbs
and
up, share.
subscribe. Yeah, we're hitting
Yep.
close to 500. I'd like to get there, maybe before the season begins.
And
So a
you're
few months, so you
and
guys can
and
help
on
get us there.
Twitter, we get up to 6,000.
Getting close there too. So give us a follow. All right, that'll be it for us. So in the meantime, and until next time, keep swinging for the fences.